you?
So glad to see you.
Nice to
How was
see
your
you.
drive here?
It was alright.
Yeah, did you catch a lot of traffic or?
I didn't hit that much traffic.
Different?
But
Yeah,
just
I think it's an hour. It's
Mhm.
over good. So yeah, I'm excited to have you back. I know we haven't we visited once, so we've gone over several things that we were able to kind of address last time we met. So today we're just kind of going to talk about those things that we've already addressed before. For instance, we talked about how Layla, your 5-year-old, is having difficulty listening, and she's throwing tantrums, which involve a little bit of crying and yelling, and sometimes even hitting. And your goals were pretty much assisting her in how to cope with those tantrums, or how to prevent those tantrums from happening, as well as how do we help her have less of those tantrums on a daily basis.
Right.
So we also completed our strengths and difficulty questionnaire, as well as the parenting scale. So we'll be going over those things as well. And we kind of talked about the behavior diary as well. And I'm assuming you have your results that we'll go over as we kind of move forward. Does that all sound like, are those still things that are still being issues with your little one?
Yeah. Yeah, she has been throwing a lot of tantrums, especially this week. It's been especially hard this week for sure.
It's been harder this week.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know. I'm assuming like the school and maybe school being out or ending. Sometimes that change can kind of happen, right? So again, let me just kind of go over in the assessment findings that we had. So the first one that we did was that strengths and difficulties questionnaire. We mentioned that this kind of helps out with our perception of her behaviors and whatnot, as well as so the score is a little bit higher than average, but it's also very common, and there are a lot of parents who have children who display the behaviors that you're talking about. We're seeing how it affects kind of the day-to-day life, as well as how it affects her, in school, and just normal activities that you guys have. I know it also with the parenting skills, we talked about how that measures those the skill, the parenting style, and we can go ahead and say that on this one, the second assessment that we completed, it displayed those negative behaviors that can be very frustrating, especially after a long day, at work, and how, you react to different things depending on the mood you're in. If you're feeling ill, and how you respond to, whether you're going to respond to certain things. So your laxness is at a very normal. We also discussed about your overreactivity. Sometimes it came out a little high, but again, it could depend on just the day that you're having, the day that you had at work, or how you're feeling. And then hostility also being high, and how that, kind of escalates when the child is escalating, parent is escalating, and everything becomes very frustrating. Is this something that, how do you feel about kind of those results, and does this feel accurate to you?
It does seem accurate. I guess I am really good about kind of trying to adjust the behavior when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do find myself just getting frustrated really fast.
Right.
And then sometimes I just find myself yelling at her, and
because parenting is hard.
Yeah, parenting
right?
is definitely hard for sure.
Of course. And again, like that mood that we're in sometimes, we could had a hard day, and then we come home, and then our child's on a tantrum, so we respond in those ways, at certain times. But we'll definitely do more of that. So do you have any questions before we move on to her behavior diary, or the results that you have? No? All right, would you like to share some of the things that you were able to write down? So I know you were doing your diary, and thank you so much for that, because I know that one, it's very hard to do. You're right, having to kind of write down and remember to write those things down, but that's great. So
So the only day I was actually able to write down on the behavior diary was on Friday.
Okay.
It was my day off, so I was able to spend a lot more time with her, and then also kind of write it down when I had the chance. So one of the behaviors that I saw was rolling on the floor and crying. You know, usual.
Of course.
And it happened around 7:30 a.m. in the family room.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked her to get up and get ready, right? Because we were gonna head out to go get breakfast. And so she didn't want to, and then after, arguing with her about it and trying to get her, I kind of just got tired, and I was like, no, we're not ready to go get breakfast, so we're just gonna stay home and eat here. And so I just let her watch TV after. Yeah, I was very frustrated.
Of course. Because whatever, you already had kind of plans in kind of place. Is there at least a second time that you want to disclose?
So we also, after we had breakfast, we were planning on going to, or we went to the supermarket to get some groceries. And so she saw this toy that she wanted, and I didn't let her have it at first. So she started to yell, and shouting and yelling in the store, and so everyone was looking at us, right? And so then I kind of felt pressured, and I gave in, and I bought it for her. I was very, very embarrassed.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for, writing those things down. I know, like I said, it can be very difficult to actually, take a moment to actually write everything down and all, but, you did a wonderful job, writing those things down. But of course, this helps me, put everything kind of in a picture, because I wasn't in your home, so I don't really know what happened, but this kind of gives me that picture of, like, kind of if I was there, I can see myself, how you were having that difficult time and how things led up into that. And so thank you so much for doing that. So again, I was also able to observe you and Layla last time, and I could see a little bit of what you were talking about just now, just kind of how, it's that she starts escalating, you're kind of escalating with her, and then you guys, then you kind of give in to whatever it is that, she needs or wants at that time, because it's just easier to just give in than it is to continue, having that discussion with her. Is that something that you feel like happens very often in your home?
I think it does. And so I think that, I guess in a way, when I get frustrated with her, I'm also frustrated at myself for feeling like I have to give in to my 5-year-olds.
Right. Yeah, of course. I can totally see that. So again, it sounds like, we are kind of on the same boat on this, on, the things that you want to kind of get out of the program, and how you kind of want to continue to address these issues that we have going on with her. I know, let me see, so where was I going? So I know that, obviously we've already discussed our goals and kind of what we want to target after this. Is there anything that you feel like you need to add in our goals that we want to kind of accomplish?
I don't think so. I think everything is very accurate what you said, and also I think the goals that I have set right now are going to help.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for coming and for being here. I know, again, sometimes it's hard to make a little bit of time, so I really appreciate you and being here on time, and all of that. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. You're great.
And so would you like to meet next Monday, same time?
Yes, for sure. Monday night.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you. Okay. So we've just ended the session. So I just ended the video. What two things that I feel like I did well was pretty much checking in with the client and remembering to, just make sure that she felt comfortable and that she agreed with the statements that I was making. And of course, things that I can improve on, I feel like would be just continuing to go a little bit more into depth in the assessments, like giving her more feedback on those assessments and seeing more if she has more questions to do on that. So that's what I have. Thank you.